Hello friend, welcome back. In this video, we'll start a new session. It's about how you can create one code application with using MySql database. Code applications means if you want to create or if you want to insert some of the data into the database, if you want to read this data from to the database, if you want to update this data or if you want to delete this data from to the database, how can do that work? Step by step, I will show you that things with a live example. So friend, before I have already discussed about that things with you, we have used some of the Django, one of the building database. So we have used one of the Django building database, that is the name as SQLite. So as I told you, this SQLite is not much a professional one of the database. So right now we will work some of the professional database. So for the professional database, I want to use that our MySql. So if you want to use that MySql, first of all, you have to install that YAML. And YAML is one of the local server. You have to download it. Okay, so that if you search it in Google, then you will get lot of the resources for downloading this YAML. It's totally free one of the software. You have to download it and install it in your system. And after install it, you can get this type of one of the pop-up. So first of all, here you have to run your Apache. So here you have to run this Apache, and that is actually the MySql. So that will be also needed. For the reasons, first of all, you have to run two of this. And when you successfully install the YAML in your system, after installing that, if you write down as a local host, then you can see that is actually our local host. And into the local host, you can find out everything. So if you go to your PHP version, so right now I'm using that PHP version 7.3.7. And also if you want to find out that SQL server, so its name is as a PHP myadmin. So you have to click on here. And here you can see that is actually the MySql server database area. And that is our all that database server version. So here I'm using the server version 10.4. Make that sure you updated your database SQL server. And also I'm using this PHP version 7.3.7. So we will create one of the code application with this advanced one of the professional database software. So that is actually the PHP admin. So right now I want to work in particular that area. So if you want to use that MySql, first of all, you have to add one of the package. So in Django, we have to add one of the package. Right now I just remove it, open the terminal again, and that is our project directory, right? So into this project directory, first of all, I want to install one of the package. So for the MySql, they have also one of the package. So if you want to install it, you have to write down as a pip and the install, and then the MySql client. Okay, so that is actually the command as a pip install and MySql client. So first of all, we have to install it. So now click as a enter. And now here you can see, friend, it's now showing as a requirement already satisfied. That means I have already installed it in our system. So for the reasons, it's now showing as a requirement already satisfied. But if you install it for the first time, it may take little time. It should be downloaded all that file from to the internet. Then automatically it will be installed this total package in your system. Okay, so right now I have already installed it. For the reasons, it's now, you can see it's now showing as a requirement already satisfied. So make that sure when you install this pipe install with the MySql package, then make that sure you are connected with the internet, because it should be downloaded all that file from to the internet. Now we have to configure it. So if you want to configure it, you have to go to your my project, that means my first project area. So I just simply open it. So into this my first project, they have the setting.py. So now go to that setting.py. And now here, if you will get one of the database, like here, if you little bit go here, you can see that is actually the database area. So by default, when you install that Django, by default we use that SQLite, right? As I told you before. So by default that was actually the SQLite. So now I want to change it. So if you want to change it, also they have the database one of the comment out. So they have some of the link. If you copy it, I just simply copy it. And now go here and open it. And now here you can see that is actually the Django project, and they have all that instruction. So by default, that was actually this one. That means the database default engine as a SQLite. And now I want to change it with our MySql. So if you want to use that MySql, then you have to copy it. So I just simply copy everything from here. Okay, I just simply copy everything. Before that was actually like that way. So now I want to update it. So now I just simply copy and now go to our side. That means in our setting file here, I want to update it. So I just simply paste our new one. So right now we will use our MySql. So for the MySql configuration, we have to defining it as a database default engine. And here we have to define our database name, database username, database password, host name, and the port name. And here now we will use MySql. For the reasons here we have to change it. So here after the backends, I just want to change it as a MySql. I name it as a MySql. Okay, I just name it as a MySql. And now we have to create one of the database, and we have to also define database username and the password. So for creating the database, as I told you, we have to go to our phpMyAdmin in our localhost. So right now I'm using that SAM, and here I already open our Apache and the MySql, right? So now that is two of this is started. So now if you want to create new database into the phpMyAdmin, you have to go to that database. And into the database here, I want to create one of the new database. So I just name it as a my underscore whatever you want. So right now I'm actually using that my fast underscore Django. So this type of one of the database name I want to create. So after that you have to just simply click as a create. Now you can see our database is now successfully created. So now if you have to copy your database name. So that is our database name, and now go to our configuration, and that is our database name. You have to define on particular that position. I just simply defining it. Okay, so that will be our database name, and also we have to put our database username and the password. So friend, right now I'm using that XAMPP, and for the XAMPP, if you go your main home page, and if you go to that user account, and into the user account here, you can see there is a username by default as a root. Okay, so username by default as a root in your local host, and host name as a local host, and the password right now I don't have any password. So for the reasons I just want to do, I just simply copy that root. That means our username will be as a root, and password. So right now I don't have any password. So for the reasons I just make the things as empty. And the host, you can also use it rather than right now I want to use this host name as a local host. I just simply copy it, and now here I just simply paste it. Okay, so here I just simply define our host name, and also the port. If you open your XAMPP, into the XAMPP here, you can see that is actually our port as a 3306. So right now I want to use it as a 3306. So friend, that's all you have to do for configure your MySql database with your Django project. So in our next video, we have to migrate our all the table, because I have already created some of the models, right? Into the first project, I have already created two of this model as a musician and the album. So now we have to migrate it, and when we will migrate it, then automatically Django will create all the table in your database. That means here I have already created one of the database. So that is the database I have defined. So that is actually my first Django, right? So here automatically it will be created all that related table. Okay, so how can migrate it in our next video? I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.